Thank you. Representative Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I, too, am trying to wrap my head around this because obviously I have not taken the social work exam. I absolutely agree with you. This makes sense to me as a clinical professional, as a nurse. Why are you waiting so long after your clinical education to take the exam? Because as a nurse, prior to me being licensed and able to work as a nurse, I took my NCLEX fresh out of my education. There were modules that I could study. So the NCLEX, and I never remembered, so I had to write this down, the National Council Licensure Exam for Nurses. So that too has those 4 questions. 2 of them are right, 2 of them are wrong. 1 of them is the right answer. And I know nursing is more specific. So within social work, can you give an example of one of those questions, if you can remember, that would be racially biased, so we can understand, or maybe let us know, let people that don't know, that haven't taken the exam, how the exam is presented, some of the questions, what are they asking you, because nobody's taken the exam, so it's hard for us to really get it in our mind. And I too want to thank you, because I know how important social work is to you, and coming to represent your district and fight for social workers is why a lot of us came here to do what we do on these committees. I came to fight for nursing. You came to fight for social work. So I respect that, and I thank you so much. But help us understand how those questions are racially biased so that we can understand.
I would say the questions aren't racially biased. The way we're supposed to take the exam has bias because you're trying to eliminate all of your own personal identity from factors in how you take the exam. Like you mentioned with nursing, you're a very specific type of field. When you're taking a medical exam, you're likely doing like orthopedics or cardiac, whatever your particular lane is in that particular profession. With social work, you have to take your identity completely out of your scenario as you're taking the exam, and then the questions aren't going to be specific to your particular lane. I know that ASWB has a very diverse writing group of folks who look at the exam, that write the exam, and are continually trying to reinvest in that. But when I think about just the pass rates for the nursing exam in Michigan, it's about a 90% first-time pass rate here in the state of Michigan. For social work, it's an overall first-time pass rate of about 70% for social work, and about 30% for our black social workers, and about 40% for our social workers over 50. So not necessarily that the questions themselves may be biased, but the way you have to step in and frame how you answer questions creates a lot of confusion and ultimately has implicit bias included in it.
See that? Could you give an example of one of those questions, or is there a way for us to search what the test?
Representative Ryan, quickly.
An example might be, I'm a white person. I grew up being taught my culture to do something, you need to be individually motivated. You need to be the one motivated for your own change. But in a lot of work I've been doing in the last few years, a lot of cultures are very motivated by family motivation. So a question might ask, how would you work with a client who needs to change a specific behavior? Would you adhere to their individual motivation? Would you talk to their mother? Would you work with their best friend? And then all of those are right. But a white person, white person from the Midwest, would answer to motivate them as an individual to change their behavior. But for some clients, that's the wrong answer. But for the exam, that's the best right answer. And that's not right. That's racist, in my opinion. It's also against multiple other cultures. So that's just an example.
Thank you.